So I'm recording live while 115 million people are watching the Super Bowl. And since it's a Sunday, and since my dogs keep interrupting every recording I do, I figured I'd just start off by having them on my lap this time. So meet the dogs, Cookie the mom, and Millie the baby. So I grew up just a couple miles away from Angel Stadium, and I didn't really understand people who were excited about sports or had teams that they were loyal to, because when you grow up next to the Angels in the 70s and 80s, you definitely don't understand that. And then I moved to Boston in 2000, and I went to a Red Sox Yankees game, and I finally understood. I got it. I got it. It was super fun. And I got to live there during a time when we broke the curse of the Bambino and the Red Sox won the World Series. And then I was there during the great dynasty, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. In fact, I'm sporting my Tom Brady GOAT t-shirt in honor. And so what I learned living in Boston for a long time is that it's just more fun when you root for the local teams. It was just a really fun thing to get together with friends and, make a big batch of chili and have some drinks and food and snacks. And it's something that everyone had in common. In fact, one of the fun things I noticed was that, Bostonians have a reputation for not being super friendly, at least not compared to people who live in California. We'll just say, hi, how's your day, to pretty much anyone. But in Boston, it's not really like that. And I rode the T almost, I don't know, for many years when I lived there. And people don't talk to each other on the subway. They just get in and read their book or stare into space. But there were two topics that I knew I could start a conversation with pretty much anyone about if I wanted to. One was the weather, because whether the weather was terrible or awesome, you could either celebrate it or complain about it together. And so that was, an easy topic. And another topic that was easy was sports. If there were a Red Sox game the night before or a Patriots game the night before, and to some degree Celtics and Bruins, I could start a conversation with almost anyone. I would say, did you watch the game last night? Or I'd say, that was some game last night. And almost always I could make a connection with a person, because most people, even if they didn't watch the game, they knew about it. And if they didn't watch the game and they were proud that they weren't followers, they would brag about it. But mostly you could even gauge whether we won or lost the night before based on the mood of the people writing the tea. It was really something to see. I thought it was really interesting. When I left Boston and I moved back to California, I remember signing up for some meetup groups and Facebook groups of people who were Red Sox and Patriots fans. And I thought it would be fun to connect with some people again and sort of duplicate that experience if I could. And I found that I didn't really have the same experience. It turns out that it wasn't really the teams or the games or even watching the games that was what I was looking for. It was the camaraderie. It was the connection with people I liked that I was looking for. And when I moved, as happens when you move cross country, you kind of have to start over with a new friend group. And that's what I was looking for. I just didn't happen to find it in the Pats and the Red Sox fans. All that is to say, well, let me loop back to that in a second. You'll get it. So I have an unpopular opinion, at least in the circles that I've been running in lately. There's sort of this attitude lately that we need to be boycotting everything we don't like, every institution that has some sort of leftist leaning or ideology, or it's starting to peek through. It's like you have to go all or nothing. And I'm not really here to argue that point. I think boycott what you want to boycott. There are certain stores I won't go to anymore because of the way they treated me when I wouldn't wear a mask. There are certain products I'm not buying, so we all have our things. But there's this question about the NFL and whether we ought to just be boycotting it completely. And I get it. Like I'm sick of seeing players kneel during the national anthem. They have the right to do it. I don't really like seeing it. I don't want to hear the Black national anthem. There's no such thing. There's just one national anthem. I don't like it. I really don't want to hear owners and managers pontificating about how racist we all are because we don't demand that teams have more Black managers and quarterbacks. I guess we're supposed to not put people in the positions based on merit, but we're supposed to do it based on race. I mean, like, we're all over it. Everyone's over it, of course. And then this year there's the added stupid hype of, Taylor Swift, who a bunch of people have decided is some sort of psyop because she's dating a famous athlete. Oh, wow. A pop star and an athlete got together and they're really, that's so shocking. Like, that never happens. So people are irritated that she keeps showing up on screen. So a lot of people aren't watching the Super Bowl, or at least they claim they're not watching the Super Bowl. And if they're not, that's fine. There's an argument to be made that these like professional sports organizations, that they are bred in circuses. I mean, there's no doubt that they're part of the power structure. And the term bread and circuses refers to when the government gives us entertainment to placate us and basically numb us out. So they give us just enough to survive, and then they give us a little bit to keep us entertained. Like fights to the death in the Coliseum, or watching a bunch of men run around knocking each other over trying to get a ball. So I get it. Is it bread and circuses? I don't know. One could argue that almost everything we do that's entertainment and relaxation is bread and circuses. I'm not willing to say that the NFL falls under bread and circuses. I'm not willing to go there and say that this is like part of a government plan to keep us numb. I don't know. Everything you turn on and watch on television, and even a lot of the stuff you listen to on the radio or podcasts, the books and magazines that we read. I mean, a lot of it's escapism. It's giving our brains a rest. So maybe not everything is this big nefarious plot. I don't know. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it is. I mean, it's important to try to be godly. It's important to try to use our time wisely, but I'm not sure that everything is a moral question. You want to watch the Super Bowl? Watch the Super Bowl. In fact, I will say that I'm one of these people that finds even the holidays that a lot of hardcore Christians and conservatives like to complain about, who find them problematic, I don't mind them. For example, Halloween, it's the devil's holiday. Well, I don't know. I think it's kind of fun to relax and kick back and try on a different persona and just play for a night. What's so bad about that? And St. Patrick's Day, okay, it's just a night for drinking. I totally understand that. But what I like about holidays, and what I like about sporting events, and what I like about popular TV shows and movies is the way they become a common thing for us to talk about and bond over. And even people with whom we really don't have that much in common, or people with whom we have really conflicting and contentious ideologies and discussions about other things, it's kind of nice that we can talk about the weather, or talk about the big game, or talk about what you dressed up as for Halloween. I think that is part of a glue for our society. And I'm just not so sure that everything has to be a big moral question. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if Jesus were sitting here in the room with me, maybe I wouldn't feel comfortable saying what I'm saying. But I think I would feel comfortable saying it. I love having things that we have in common that are part of not just part of our culture, but that are traditions, reasons, excuses to get together, to break bread, to cut loose, to enjoy each other's company. So if you've got friends and family that are being all judgy about the fact that you are watching the Super Bowl today, let them be judgy. You make your own decisions about whether you're going to buy Bud Light or shop at Target or watch the NFL. That's up to you, and you don't answer to your friends and family about it. And I just think in this really hostile environment where everyone's so judgy and everything's a big moral issue, I don't know, maybe it's okay if we just relax, including today. So I just feel that's something that has to be said, and it seems like I'm the one who has to say it. So now it's been said. And can you believe that the dogs were good the entire time? Maybe this is the secret weapon, having them up here with me. They're stars, and they know it.